Story 1. All this artificial intelligence stuff. I can't go through my day without another product pushing their artificial intelligence feature in my face. Story 2. I am sick and tired of technology. The noise everyone's phone makes. The artificial intelligence everywhere. Things being forced on me. I just want to live in peace, damn it. Story 3. Everything. My hobbies, which I do not have the time or motivation for. My studies, which are leading to an unsatisfactory career field. Even my job, which I did not really care for to begin with. Everything in general. Story 4. Making friends just always seems one-sided, and I really don't feel like being someone's therapist all the time. Story 5. Movies and series in general. I'm not sure if I'm getting dopamine overload from short-form content, but it is very rare to find anything that feels compelling or binge-worthy. It does not help that everything is a remake of the same intellectual property, I bet. Story 6. Food. I still eat, but everything tastes boring even when I eat out. I am sick of cooking and trying to rotate through various recipes so I am not bored. And yes, I season the food well. I have a shelf of 20 seasonings. Eating just does not feel novel. I wonder if that is why so many older people have little appetites. Not because of metabolism, but because it feels like a chore. Story 7. Sadly, my favorite hobby has changed. I have played the guitar for 27 years. I love to play and sing, but I never find myself alone anymore. Between my children and husband, I just stopped, and now it feels dull. I am really sad about it. It feels like I lost a part of myself. Story 8. Dating, working, traveling, expectations, my parents' unrealistic needs, cards for birthdays and holidays, artificial intelligence and technology. To be honest, it's nice to be interested only in things that truly interest you and to accept that everything else is trivial. Story 9. Playing video games. The second I get stuck, I turn it off. There are already enough problems in my life. Story 10. Endless. That show was great until season 6 series. If a plot cannot wrap up before my hairline recedes, I am out. Story 11. Trying to be good, nice, and kind because karma apparently does not exist, and sometimes I wonder if God does. Story 12. I was coming in here to say life, thinking it would be a unique answer, and now I'm upset it isn't. But today, I picked up a book for the first time in a long time, made a proper dinner, and started my graduate school application. Come on, everyone. I for one won't let the evil people in the world outlive me. I have some graves to disrespect in the future. Story 13. Society's intense focus on making people lonely, bitter, and paranoid. Then, offering them a solution with artificial intelligence, the technology harming our planet nearly as quickly as fossil fuels. Story 14. Trying to keep up with new slang. I just found out that no cap does not mean someone forgot their hat. And at this point, I do not care. Story 15. Life. It seems all we are allowed to do is be cogs in the great machine, keeping the wealthy as they can be. We slave in jobs where we are not valued while prices increase, chaining us to our tasks as we desperately cling to a meager existence. We seek to escape reality with the entertainment provided to prevent us from asking questions, thinking for ourselves, questioning authority, and avoid a slow, painful death of the soul. Story 16. I recently lost my baby girl at 25 weeks of pregnancy, and many things no longer have the same meaning. Story 17. News. The current administration is openly working to destroy the United States, and the news media are complicit, treating the dismantling of the country as a red versus blue debate instead of as an existential crisis for the nation. Story 18. Everything literally was better and more magical in the 1980s and 1990s. Everything seems more magical when you're a kid. But back then, music, movies, games, video games, toys, stores, sports, TV shows, fashion, friendships, the seasons, and the holidays were just better in general. Now, as a middle-aged adult living in the difficult year of 2025, I feel that magic is completely gone, like vaporized. Going to the movie theater used to be an event. I went twice a month with family and friends in the 1990s. Now, the quality of films has declined. Going to the arcade or the mall feels dead. Not a thing anymore. Christmas was the most magical day of the year as a kid. Now it feels somewhat depressing. Halloween is almost non-existent. There are barely any trick-or-treaters in my town. I remember the streets used to be flooded with them, and even haunted houses or hayrides were magical. Thanksgiving is not the same anymore. My family feels disconnected now. I could care less about summer. I just work all week and trade my time for money. Summer comes and goes quickly. It's already more than halfway through as I type this. Yet those 2 months after school was out were magical. Music. There have only been a few artists over the last decade that I've connected with. Rock is dead, but there wasn't a band from the 1990s that I didn't like. Friendships? I have none now. Everyone has moved on, living their own lives, married with kids, or are fake or gone. Stores like Blockbuster, Toys R Us, Kmart, Sam Goody, Strawberries, the Warner Brothers store, and Sears, my dad's favorite, are all gone now and more. I don't watch sports anymore either, but I used to be a huge Chicago Bulls fan. I couldn't wait to watch NBA basketball and see Michael Jordan play during the Bulls' reign in the mid-1990s. I was also a huge Boston Red Sox fan. Nomar Garciaparra was my favorite player, and I never wanted to miss an at-bat. Manny Ramirez, I loved watching the Sox play after school. Now I don't even know one team member. I also used to love watching golf with my dad. Life has gotten hard, and being an adult in 2025 just sucks. I wish I could go back, savor those better years more, correct some mistakes, and relive all those impactful moments with friends and family. In video games, music, movies, or just walking around the mall during the holiday shopping season. The smells, the sights. People were less uptight and happier, going to the arcade and looking forward to it all. Now all I can do is reflect and attempt to learn as I keep pushing forward. Story 19, Eating. Can someone please send me nutritious, balanced food pouches? I do not want to think or cook. Story 20, Honestly, Work. I just turned 60 and had a 2-week backpacking adventure through the Rocky Mountains, Grand Teton, and Yellowstone with my truly awesome wife. I have been back for a week to a career that I have loved, but I am sputtering like a 1980s moped. I have the resources to retire tomorrow morning and have had the ability to do so for a decade, but I just cannot seem to let go. I truly enjoy my work, but something clicked when we wandered up Grand Teton Peak. My body is back in Michigan, but my soul remains with the chipmunks on Grand Teton. Story 21, Long-term relationships. I used to want them, but the older I get, the more I realize that casual relationships are the way to go for me. Story 22. Going to the theaters is so boring now. It is just such a drag. Movies are not enjoyable nowadays, and my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder makes it hard to sit in a dark room for 3 hours feeling bored. Story 23. Podcasts. I used to love them, listened every day, and found new ones I liked all the time. Is it just me, or have they all declined? Everything just feels so recycled and soulless. Story 24. Smartphones. Everything needs to have an application. Everything needs to track my data. Everything needs smart device integration. Cannot leave the house without your phone at all. People complained about too many customer cards, but honestly, I would rather have those instead of the endless amount of data wasted on applications. Want to do your groceries? Cannot get your rewards without the application. Some even lock you out of store discounts. Want to park? Loads of parking machines have been removed because there is an application for that. I got a water fountain for my cat, and even that thing has an application. Want to see queue times in a theme park? Download the application. Want to find a cool nature trail route? Paper maps? What are those? There is an application for that. Want to order something at a restaurant? There is no application, but you have to order via a digital menu and quick response code. That is also how you need to pay, by the way, and they still have the audacity to ask you for a tip. This is the biggest generational complaint I have, and I am ready to defend that opinion. Story 25. Work. I just want to retire and leave the rat race behind. Sail, read books, dance, play music, relax with friends, make bread, and cook delicious food. I am about 8 to 10 years away from my goal. Story 26. Honestly, Physical contact with women has always been a strange issue for me. I'm 45, and when I was younger, I had a very active, intimate life with my girlfriends. However, without fail, after a certain amount of time, I would begin to lose interest in physical intimacy and actually feel repulsed by it, especially if I was living with that girlfriend. It's almost like the more domestically comfortable and emotionally connected I became with them, the less physically attracted I felt. I was still in love, but intimacy became a chore I avoided and made excuses for. Now, this feeling has become almost permanent. It's very strange. The whole idea of going through that process feels ridiculous, immature, and adolescent. I feel like I'm too grown up for sex in the same way I would feel if I went to a Brooklyn rave tomorrow night. It would just feel goofy. Like I'm an adult, and that's kid stuff. I should be at a half-empty bar singing drunken karaoke on stage, not dancing with glow sticks and a Superman cape at some rave, right? Story 27. Marriage. I'm tired of watching my mother fight for her marriage while her husband does everything he can to make it fail. She is miserable and so is he. It is just sad. Story 28. People and their needs. I am so tired of others needing me to reinforce their own beliefs about themselves. Story 29. Social media and Reddit contain too much overly curated content that does not accurately represent the real world anymore. It has been that way for a while now, and I am really over it. Story 30. Photography. I used to enjoy it, but as the dream starts creeping in that I will never become the photographer I wanted to be, I have not been motivated to get back into it. Story 31. Work, having a full schedule, waking up to go to work, house hunting, planning for the future, trying to save money, paying $30 for a man's haircut, watching the news, to name a few. Story 32. Job situation is frustrating. Expectations are through the roof and salaries are very low. Please do not even get me started on toxicity. Story 33. Video games. Corporations have damaged the industry significantly, making it harder for modders and independent developers to create exciting, novel content. Gaming needs a major evolutionary leap forward. Story 34. I have been interested in producing music for most of my life. However, now that artificial intelligence can be used for nearly everything, including music, I have lost hope. Large corporations can replicate any style of music using artificial intelligence, and people probably will not notice because it is simply sound. Story 35. Texting. As I get older, I just do not care about texting at all. My friends send me multiple messages all the time, and if I do not respond, they get annoyed. I just wish people would either call more or wait to talk in person. Story 36. Small talk. I hate beating around the bush. I'll go straight to the heart of the conversation, much to most people's chagrin. People think I'm being confrontational now, but I don't really care to chat anymore. Story 37. To be honest, I have started losing interest in binge-watching Netflix. Sounds wild, right? But honestly, I find myself craving more real, tangible experiences now. I guess it is quarantine burnout. Do not get me wrong, I am not hating on Netflix, but sometimes life has to be more than just another episode. You know? Do others feel this too? Or is it just me? Story 38. Work. Computers, applications, scripting, artificial intelligence were all designed to get work done faster. 4-day work weeks should be the norm. Instead, companies expect 10 times the output from their employees by requiring them to use these technological advancements to make life easier. Story 39. PC building and gaming as a hobby in general. The community is obnoxious, entitled, reactionary, and completely out of touch with reality. Being priced out of the hobby does not help either. A modern mid-range graphics card now costs approximately a month's worth of rent. It is just not worth it anymore. Story 40. Streaming series that should have ended after one season. Operating systems that intrude and update constantly. Cheerful automated voices in public places. Gas station pumps with panels that display ads aggressively while you just want to pump gas. All to say, late-stage capitalism. Story 41. Democracy. Nobody wants to defend it. Nobody wants to listen to facts. Nobody wants to perform even the most menial patriotic chores. I have honestly questioned my commitment to the ideals of democracy when nobody seems willing to do what it takes to make it work. At this point, I am hoping for some form of benevolent despotism. Story 42. The rat race. The longer I live, the more apparent it becomes that my naive young brain thought positivity, drive, and being good at something could get you far. In fact, it is mostly luck of time and place. Story 43. Talking to anyone I do not know already. I have given up caring because every single person I have tried to be friends with has dropped me or ignored me. Story 44. Social media. I love Reddit because there is no expectation for me to reply. But social networks, no. Story 45. Right now, everything. I probably need to try a new antidepressant. I feel much less like I am in an emotional death spiral, but even though I am not having constant meltdowns, I am also just not motivated and struggle to enjoy my passions. Story 46. I miss the days when technology just worked without constantly demanding my attention or trying to revolutionize every mundane task. Story 47. Always sad to see people post about losing interest. The past 3 months or so have been the only time in my life when I can say I am genuinely interested or passionate about anything. Friday and Sunday were hard days for me, but compared to any time in my life since I was about 8 or 9, I feel my interest in food growing. Art and media inspire me. I am rediscovering music. I am slowly starting to read again. I am trying harder to socialize more. I hope that everyone who feels their interests fading can read this and know that your spark can come back. Even if it feels like the fire is gone, you never know when that ember can return. I wish mine had come sooner, and I do not think it will be easy for me to become the man I want to be, but at least the world has color again. Story 48. Drinking. I used to enjoy getting drunk and sloppy. Now I dislike the idea of waking up with a headache and ruining the following day for myself. Story 49. Maintaining professionalism in business emails is important. I am exhausted with all the excessive flattery, and sometimes I just want to send emails that are direct and to the point without worrying about offending someone. Story 50. Women. I have done therapy, I go to the gym, many people tell me I am smart and funny, I have good hygiene, I dress well, I speak clearly, and I have a firm but friendly handshake. I follow all common advice. I even earn 6 figures. There is nothing wrong with my face. So far, I attract much younger women with no real potential, certain single mothers who need therapy, financial aid, and a gym buddy, and apparently elderly gay men. On rare occasions, I attract someone within a realistic demographic, but they typically end up being sexist, abusive, or mentally unwell. I have heard all the tired lines before and have been told it must be my fault more times than I can count. I try to encourage myself that there must be some sane, single woman out there with reasonable health, stable finances, and more personality than a saltine cracker who might be interested in me. But my experience continues to refute that idea. What should a rational person do? Story 51. The future. We have damaged the planet and commodified everything to an extreme extent. Dating is difficult, having children is financially challenging, and owning a home is nearly impossible. The worst part is that no one in power has the courage to take meaningful action to help. Edit. Yes, this is a pessimistic post. No, I am not going to harm myself in any way. I just read it to myself and thought it was appropriate. Story 52. Art. I used to love it when I was in my early teens. But as I get older, it just does not resonate with me anymore. Story 53. Video games. I have always loved them, but I have just lost the drive to play. It is annoying because they were always something to look forward to, but they just do not provide respite anymore. It is difficult growing up. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.